the schedule at the beginning of the year. Now it's two powerful teams that both have unique keys to win this game. You look at our Chevrolet keys to the game. First of all, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Play fast. It's a fast track, but run slow with Corey Dillon and Rudy Johnson to control the clock. St. Louis, protect Bulger. That means no turnovers. And when you get the ball in the red zone, St. Louis, score touchdowns, not field goals.
Two of the leading receivers in the NFL battle next here in St. Louis. The sold-out dome in St. Louis with the division champion Rams undefeated at home against the first-place Bengals, their best record since '88. The Bengals, the Rams. It's next on CBS. Bengals at 8-6, St. Louis at 11-3 with Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan. To the sideline, we welcome in Leslie Visser.
Thanks, Kevin. Happy holidays to you guys. And Marvin, what was your message to the team in this that is a measuring stick for the Bengals?
We've worked very hard to get here. Enjoy it. Let's go play. Let's go get it done today.
Your receiver, Chad Johnson, told me in the pregame that he does have a touchdown celebration plan. What do you want from him?
He does, and when he does it, he's going to put everybody at risk. No one will have to worry about asking him any more questions about it.
But you think that'll be the end to the fun?
That'll be the end of it, and he won't have to ask any more questions.
Well, we'll look forward to that. Thanks,
right.
Marvin. Good luck to you. Back to you, Kevin.
Les, happy holidays. Randy, we looked inside this team yesterday, looked in their eyes. What did you see when you talked to the Bengals?
Yeah, I think they were mad. You know, from Marvin Lewis on down, they were a little edgy. They're coming into this game with the attitude that, yeah, we're playing the Rams, but people don't appreciate how good the Bengals are right now, that we aren't those same old Bengals that lost those 40 straight games.
Shane Graham kicks off. The Bengals, the Rams, and Arlen Harris at about the 2-yard line for St. Louis, and we are underway at the Dome. Rial Johnson makes the tackle for the Bengals at the 21-yard line on a 20-yard return. The Rams made a quarterback change after an opening game loss to the Giants, replacing Kurt Warner with Mark Bulger, who is 17-2 in games he starts and finishes. Left tackle Orlando Pace is going to another Pro Bowl, but right tackle Kyle Turley is coming off his best game of the season. He's been a great addition from the Saints. And wide receiver Torrey Holt, number 2 in the NFL, receptions and yards. He will be in Honolulu in February at the Pro Bowl. Isaac Bruce, out with an ankle, will not play. From the 22, first and 10, and Mark Bulger looks into a 4-3-4 Cincinnati defense. And he goes right to work, and he throws outside where it's caught by Falk, and he's got a block from Wollabaugh, who is trying to ward off Ross, but Adrian Ross makes the tackle near the 35 and a gain of 12. The Bengal defense came up with 3 fumble recoveries against the Niners last week. Justin Smith grew up in Jefferson City, played at Mizzou, and comes back home today. Linebacker Brian Simmons co-leads the defense in tackles along with Kevin Hardy. And in the secondary with Mark Roman at 1 safety, a steady performer who will be tested this afternoon. First down and 10. Ball resting at the 34. Manu Maliuna is in motion. The big tight end. The pitch out to Falk with a block from Pace. And a stiff arm into Roman, and then shoved out of bounds by Torrey James at about the 42-yard line, and a carry of 8 yards.
The last month or so, Marshall Falk has returned to, you would say, form of old. You know, such a threat catching the ball, running the ball. He's been able in the past to single-handedly control football games, and not so much just running the ball. He can catch it. This guy can do it all, and he's getting back to that now, and a lot of that's because of the offensive line, and a lot of that is because of Kyle Turley at right tackle, who has really completed this offense with the way he's playing.
He put Falk and Manu Maliuna back in the backfield on a second and long one. Ball at the 42. And it's Falk again, who is healthy, and Hardy and back and right into gain of 3 and a first down out past the 45 to the 46.
Yeah, when you talk to Marshall Faulk, the obvious question was, you miss those games. Your knee, how's your knee? And he kind of laughs. He goes, well, 10 years on AstroTurf between the Indianapolis Dome and this dome. It was just sort of a bunch of stuff floating around in there, and they had to go in and get it out, and feels as good, he says, as it has in the last 3 or 4 years.
And his hand, too, right? That was an injury.
Well, he broke his hand, actually, but that turned out to be a real blessing, being able to clean his knee up. Now he can make the cuts and do some of the things he always has been able to do.
First down and 10, 46-yard line. Dean Looker, one of their wide receivers on the move. Again, Isaac Bruce not playing today, and the pitch out goes to Falk. Clemens won't let him go. Nice play on that line. Flag is down back at about the 42-yard line. A loss of 2 as it stands right now.
A little tug on the face mask, I think.
Ed Hockley is our referee today here in St. Louis. The referee is Super Bowl 32, 4 conference championship games, very accomplished, and a lawyer down in Arizona.
Face mask, number 90, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty only from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Justin Smith.
Yeah, number 90, Smith gets that one here. Smith right here in the middle of the screen just happens by and gets a little piece and immediately removes his hand. That's why it's a 5-yard face mask and not the 15. If he'd have grabbed him, held on, and pulled him down with it, it would have been 15 yards.
Bengals have put in 5 defensive backs. It's first down and 7 from the Ram 49. Falk in the backfield, look around the fly. And Bulger with a little fake and going deep. And intercepted by Torrey James, the ex-Oakland Raider. They were going for Furry inside the 20. And an interception by Bulger, who threw 4 a couple weeks ago, but has really kind of stayed away from that interception for coach Mike Martz.
You see that look on Mike Martz's face? He kind of had the huh look, because that was way floater. That instead of throwing it out there, really letting his receiver go get it, Mark Bulger puts this one up in the air and comes up about 10-15 yards short of Furry. I mean, Furry's out there behind the defensive backs, behind James and Beckett if he gets it to him, but James just gets that jump ball. That's an easy pick for the Bengals.
So here we go with Cincinnati. Their offense, number 11 in points scored on the turnover. At the 17 they begin, and John Kitna with a 1st and 10, and Corey Dillon runs into Tommy Powley and is brought down at the 20 on a gain of 3. John Kitna, what a sensational story. The 5th-rated quarterback in the NFL, having the best season in his 7 years. The rookie left guard Eric Steinbach is out. Veteran Scott Rayberg is in. That is a late scratch. And in the receiving corps with Peter Warwick out, rookie Kelly Washington from Tennessee will start. Warwick had knee surgery earlier this week. It is 2nd down and 7 at their own 20-yard line. Stewart in motion. And Corey Dillon with the block from Rayberg. He gets by Archuleta and takes it in the secondary up to the 43, brought down by Williams and Tino Samoa, and it's a 22-yard ramble and a first down for Cincinnati.
And this is Cincinnati doing what they do well, and that's run the 24 power. Pull the backside guard, this case Rayberg, get a nice block by Reggie Kelly at tight end. They've creased teams week in and week out with their most patient play.
Couple tight ends.
Usually this doesn't happen until the 3rd or 4th time they run it.
1st and 10, little bootleg by Kitna. To the side he goes, looking for the rookie Washington, and out of bounds. Caught, but caught out of bounds, incomplete at the Ram 47.
Well, this is without Peter Warwick, who they missed because of his quickness. This is a very large receiving corps, and you see those feet in there at the last second. Well, it was close. I think the outside leg in this case. Watch the one closest to the sideline right there. It hits on the white. The right leg was on the green.
42, 2nd down and 10. This is Rudy Johnson in the game and brought down as he tries to work it up the middle. And Aeneas Williams brings him down after a gain of 6. In the last 6 games, the Rams defense, 27 sacks. Pro Bowler Leonard Little ranking 4th in that category in the NFL. Linebacker Jamie Duncan takes the place again for the injured Robert Thomas. But the linebacking corps gets a lot of help from the secondary in the form of blitzing Adam Archuleta, who has 5 sacks from his safety position. 3rd and 5 from the 47-yard line. Kitna, the quick drop outside. He goes with the rookie wide receiver Walter with the catch at the 49, but he's about a yard shy of the first down on a gain of 4, and now it is 4th and a yard, and they're going to, I think, punt the ball. They are.
this was not only good planning by Lovie Smith's defense for St. Louis. This is speed and close on the ball. And that tackle made by Jason Sehorn, who obviously with that acceleration and break has recovered completely from that knee injury that slowed him for a few years there when he was with the New York Giants.
It's Kyle Richardson to punt, averaging about 39 yards per boot, and deep back is Dane Looker at the 10-yard line for the Rams. So Cincinnati can do nothing with the interception of Bulger. And that will ricochet into the end zone. You're shaking your head on that 49-yard boot.
I can't stand when punters do that. Kick it out of bounds on the 15. Kick it out on the 10. Don't roll it in the end zone.
Well, we got a timeout. Corey Dillon has carried it twice for 25 yards, and in the process, he goes by James Brooks, most yards from scrimmage in Cincinnati Bengal history. So the Rams throw an interception. Cincinnati can do nothing. They punt back, and so each team has had it once. Here's the second possession after the touchback on the punt. 1st and 10, 20-yard line for Bulger. Marshall Falk bouncing outside. Adrian Ross wraps him up at the 23 on a gain of 3 yards on the play. And the playoff picture, a little complex, but it comes down to this for these two teams.
For St. Louis, they're trying to get by Philadelphia. They'd love Philadelphia to lose and get the home field advantage. For Cincinnati, it's easy. It's week to week. It's series to series. For Marvin Lewis, it's play to play for his team. They'd love to be 10-6, but he can't let this team look any further than the next series or the next play.
Here's Mike Martz. Team is 11-3. 2nd down and 7 from the 23. We still have 6 or 5 in the secondary for Cincinnati as Bulger goes to Mauro Mariano, who is grabbed immediately by Brian Simmons at the 25-yard line on a gain of about 2 to 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down.
You know, one thing St. Louis will notice with the Cincinnati Bengals is how much more physical I think they are, especially defensively.
And you like that, don't you?
I like it. I like it. It's a signature not only of the AFC North, it's a signature of Marvin Lewis's football team. And that's one thing. You talk to Simmons, the linebacker. That's the first thing he brings up. You know, they've got leaders like Hardy. They've got leaders like Torrey James. But the one common theme is how physical this defense has been.
3rd down and 4. Extra defensive backs from the 25 for St. Louis. They got Looker in motion, and it looks like McCollum, their left guard, jumped a little early.
They had one looker and a twitcher.
Yeah.
False start offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
You're in the holiday spirit today.
This is the kind of start that plays into Cincinnati's hands. The key for Cincinnati is don't turn the ball over, because you know Mark Bulger and the Rams will. They've taken the ball away 41 times this year, but now they've given the ball up 36 times. Imagine where this Ram team would be if Lovie Smith's defense didn't get so many turnovers for them.
Well, they moved the ball beyond the 20. They had spotted it wrongly, so now it is officially at the 21. We're going to call it 3rd down and 9. And Falk remains. An extra defensive back, 5 all told for Cincinnati with that 4-man front. And 26-year-old Mark Bulger out of Pittsburgh, who played at West Virginia, on a busted play. He fumbles the ball. He reels it in, vacuums it back to him at the 19-yard line. The pressure came from Clemens and Justin Smith, and a loss on the play of about 2 yards. Dwayne Clemens came through and did a nice job.
And went about 40 yards to do it, coming around the long way, batting that right hand of Bulger. That's something, a common theme with these Ram quarterbacks. Kurt Warner was criticized for a long time about when he got pressure in the pocket, not tucking the ball in closer to his body. Bulger, same thing, ball dangling out there, and Clemens is able to knock it loose.
Sean Landeta to punt, and Jeff Burris is deep back for the Bengals near their 35. And a nice high punt. Rich Burris retrieves at the Cincinnati 30-yard line. Dancing his way, gets by Gross and brought down by Rich Cody at about the 41-yard line. A 50-yard punt and 11-yard return.
I think Sean Landeta has been kicking NFL balls since they had stripes on them.
19 years, Landeta, a punter in the NFL.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
It's a spectacular day here in St. Louis with Randy Cross and Leslie Visser. Kevin Harlan. Punt by St. Louis. Second possession for Cincinnati, 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Kitna throws a bullet, deflected, incomplete. I think it was Tommy Polly who got his hands on it. And that ball ricocheted away. 2nd down and 10.
Man, that's what makes Lovie Smith's defense here in St. Louis so difficult. And that's why they produce so many turnovers. You saw it last night in a great game there that Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms did. The same idea. The turnovers that Minnesota gets. The linebackers get deep drops. They get their hands in the air. They tip the balls in the air. And then you get a lot of turnovers to the defensive backs.
Lovie Smith has put in an extra defensive back. 2nd down and 10. Bengals at the 41. They've got Dillon in the backfield. Leonard Little brings him down. 43-yard line. Not a lot of running room there. A meager gain of 3.
I really think Cincinnati is really well served running a lot of Corey Dillon and a lot of Rudy Johnson, as Corey Dillon goes over 8,000 yards for his career rushing. And why not add a few more to that total for Corey Dillon and more for Rudy Johnson? This is not a very big defense for St. Louis. They do give up a lot of yards. Yards on the ground mean time off the clock for the Bengals. That's their style.
6 in the secondary for St. Louis. 3rd down and 7. Kitna hit as he throws. Intercepted. Tommy Polly brings it down. Chad Johnson then knocks him out of bounds at the 50-yard line. And Tommy Polly comes up with his 4th interception this season for defensive coordinator Lovie Smith.
And that's a little Lovie Smith defense. You put the pressure on with the late blitz and Seahorn. Kitna has to short arm it. That means turnover. That means great field position. And now you're playing Mike Martz's game. You may wonder why that ball was fluttering. Seahorn's left hand just got a piece of it. That caused the interception that Tommy Polly was able to take advantage of.
So both quarterbacks have thrown an interception. 49-yard line, 1st down and 10. They got Cam Cleland, the tight end, in motion. Here comes the blitz from the Bengals, and it's caught for the first time today by Torrey Holt. Torrey James knocks him out of bounds. 29-yard line, gain of 22.
The key to a play like that for Mark Bulger in this Rams offense is pass protection. You've got that kind of a deep route run by Torrey Holt. You need that protection from your offensive line. Bulger had perfect protection. Holt just ran a nice casual route and just cut it off right in front of James.
5 in the secondary for Cincinnati. 1st down and 10. 28-yard line after the Kitna interception. The Rams are on the move, and so is Furry. Outside to hold again. Turley with the blocker, at least trying to block out the linebacker. Simmons could not. Simmons the grab after a 5-yard reception to the 23 to New York, and Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Kevin and Randy. Let's update now Miami and Buffalo, and here it's Fiedler to Chambers. 10th touchdown catch of the season by Chambers. First time we've had a double-digit touchdown reception man in Miami since Mark Clayton in 1991. They're up 7-0. Let's go back to you.
Yeah, Jim, you know, the Dolphins defeated the Bills back early in the season by 10. Miami's still alive. 2nd down 5. And they spot it at the 24. 23-yard line. Bulger. Great time. And going deep. Looking for Looker. Incomplete. Torrey James on the coverage.
If that looked familiar, Looker almost ran the identical route that Torrey Holt ran 2 plays ago. And Mark Bulger is a very, very strong arm quarterback. There's Isaac Bruce, the steady veteran for the Rams. First game missed, like Leslie Visser mentioned in the pregame show, since 1998.
The ball is just beyond the 24, so officially at the 23. 3rd down and 5. Extra defensive backs in for the Bengals. And they vacate the backfield, does Bulger, with 5 receivers deployed. Quick hitter. Caught by Looker and brought down by Kriesfahan to the 18-yard line, and he's got a 1st down spinning to the 17 on 3rd and 5. Randy picks up 6 yards.
See, this is just, you know, they say take what they give you. Well, with nobody in this area, Mark Bulger is just going to throw a little quick hitter there. And Hardy, who lines up on the line of scrimmage, he'll sort of fake it out. Bulger can't get back in that zone quick enough to disrupt that play. But nice read by Bulger, getting that ball to Looker.
Blaine Steele is coming on the defensive line of Cincinnati. They go 4-3-4 defense. 1st and 10 for the Rams. 16-yard line of Cincinnati. A Kitna interception set this up for the Rams. Pump fake and Marshall Faulk. Simmons grabs him among others at about the 12-yard line, and a gain of 4. by Marshall Falk. 10 years out of San Diego State. Can't believe he's been in the league 10 years already. Follow the playoff race through the end of the season with our exclusive projected seeds, brackets, and playoff scenarios. Just click on playoff race at CBSSportsline.com.
This is the part of the field, Kevin, that this Ram team has struggled in. You get in the red zone, you've got to finish it off with touchdowns. I mean, Wilkins is a Pro Bowl kicker for a reason. He's kicked a lot in this part of the field.
Falk becomes a receiver. Looker a wingback. 2nd down and 6. 11-yard line. Furry now, the receiver in the backfield. A block by Turley in time for Bulger, and sends a pass inside. At about the 4-yard line, Looker makes the grab. Case-Faharn makes the tackle. And he's got the 1st down, so it's 1st and goal. The Rams inside the Cincinnati 3.
And that means you get an extra tackle on St. Clair at tight end. And this part of the field now means that Mark Bulger is doing what he does in their other parts of the field, and that's open up the middle of the field. This Ram team throws the ball over the middle better than any other team in the NFL.
Falk in the backfield. The 2 receivers, Manu Maliuna, the tight end, is in motion. And Falk from behind grab. They had Rogers Beckett, but the real tackle was made by Case-Faharn. The 2 combined, no gain, 2nd down and goal.
See, you have to start appreciating the fact of Cincinnati early was in a field position game for a couple possessions. And that last turnover suddenly put them into a Mike Martz game where you get positive field position, and then Mike Martz can go to that list in front of him and just start. I use the term all the time, smiling and dialing. This team will smile and dial a defense to death if you give them field position.
5 defensive linemen, 3 in the secondary. Falk in the backfield. 8th play of the drive, 2nd down goal at the 2. Marshall Falk grabbed by Hardy, spins his way close but not in, and Cincinnati holds on a gain of 1. It'll be 3rd and goal. Nice play by Kevin Hardy.
Well, you don't think a smallish back can have a little power? And if you've got a little power, if you add a spin, then you make it a little more elusive. See, you're spun by Hardy, you keep spinning, you keep moving, you're moving sideways. No one gets a square hit on Falk, and he's able to keep going forward.
They've got a linebacker, Adrian Ross, that will line up as a down lineman. When we come back, there is a timeout taken by Bulger in St. Louis in a scoreless 1st quarter. Both quarterbacks have thrown interceptions. Kitna threw 1. Rams took over at their 49. Now they've got it 3rd and goal at the 1. Rams just took a timeout.
There's the situation, too. It's less than a yard. You've got Marshall Falk. You've got Ken Cleveland at fullback. You've got St. Clair at 1 tight end on the left side. Go with power.
They got Goodspeed in there as a wingback, too, who's now in motion. Jerry Goodspeed. Falk in the backfield. Falk the call, and a touchdown.
Well, you don't get any more powerful than fullback, tight end, tackle, tackle. I think there's a little beef on that side. Then you pull your right guard Timmerman and get a little more of the heftage over there. That was pretty easy for the Rams.
Here comes Jeff Wilkins with the extra point, and the Rams cash in on the John Kitna interception on a 9-play, 51-yard drive. And a Marshall Falk 1-yard touchdown run, his 9th of the year. And the Western Division champion Rams on the board first. Marshall Falk, his 9th touchdown run of the season, a 1-yard burst, 9-play drive, a Kitna interception. Set it up. Tommy Polley made the pick. It's 7-0 Rams.
And it's a Ram kind of score. Points off turnovers.
The ensuing kickoff by Wilkins. Brandon Bennett will take it from the 4-yard line for Cincinnati. Hit by Cody and then brought down by a host of Rams. Gross is in there. 28-yard return. Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan in St. Louis from the 31-yard line, Cincinnati.
Speaking of Christmas shoes, those orange shoes of Chad Johnson have been pretty quiet so far, haven't they, Kevin?
Good point. They send Rudy Johnson out of the backfield, so it's vacated, and that's where Kitna goes to throw. And he finds his rookie wide receiver, Kelly Washington, taking the place of the injured Peter Warrick, and he's brought down by linebacker Jamie Duncan. It's a gain of 12 to the 42.
It's really hard to consider Kelly Washington a real rookie. You know, Leslie mentioned in her piece in the pregame show that he spent 4 years in the Florida Marlins organization, went to University of Tennessee, really had a chance to develop some of his skills as a receiver, but is very much so this year being able to really expand his receiver package.
4-3-4 defense for the Rams. Oh my goodness, Wistrom just jumped. Exactly, where are the Grant Wistrom jumped as they were bringing up safeties and linebackers and all kinds of confusion.
That's about the time the point game starts too.
Encroachment. Defense number 98 came across and made contact. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's Wistrom.
Wistrom lines up at the right defensive end at the top of the screen right here. Watch him come across and just bump on the left defensive end. See the tight end, one thing that's not an offensive tackle. The tight end can kind of lift up. He wasn't quite in the stance yet.
It is a 4-3-4 Ram defense. It's 1st and 5, 47-yard line, Rudy Johnson. And he's drilled. Adam Archuleta, what a great player he is. A loss of a yard, back to the 46.
Adam Archuleta has been at times one of the bigger defensive backs or one of the smaller linebackers in the NFL. Very often you watch this Ram defense and it looks like a 4-down lineman and 4 linebacker defense because of this third-year player out of Arizona that, in my opinion, should have been going to Hawaii. This should be a Pro Bowl safety, along with Aeneas Williams at the free safety position.
Down defense, 6 in the secondary, 2nd down and 6, 46, Chad Johnson. First catch on this drive, and he is brought down by Fisher on a gain of 5, and that may take us to the close of the first quarter. The Bengals won at home last week, beating San Francisco 41-38. St. Louis beat Seattle at home 27-22. The Rams in the West have won it again. It's 7-0 on a Marshall Faulk touchdown run. We come back to St. Louis after this on CBS. Kevin Harlan, Randy Cross. We begin the second quarter, 3rd and 1. A Marshall Faulk touchdown run is the difference in the game. From the 48 of St. Louis, Rudy Johnson tries to sidestep his way inside. Rich Cody from the secondary among many. Rams with the hand on him, and it will be close.
It's going to be short.
I take your word for it.
Which would be also close.
Yes, it would.
It's going to be. I don't think he got quite the spot he'll expect once he sees his game tape tomorrow, but it is short. Yeah, he's going to be up there right about a foot or so short of that first down.
Which brings up an interesting scenario. You're in Rams territory. You're behind by 7 points. An important game. What would you do here? Go for it on 4th and a yard?
As good a place to punt as any.
Yep.
I think you punt this. You're going against an offense like St. Louis's. I don't think there's any choice. If this is short, you do not go for it.
Yeah,
you punt this ball.
Let's see.
But I mean, hey, Marvin Lewis didn't get to 8-6 with the Bengals this year by playing scared.
Hey, when you're 2-14 one year and 8-6 the next, and so few teams have made that kind of turnaround in the history of the NFL, why not?
I still think you punt here, and maybe this is just trying to draw him off sides.
Rudy Johnson's in the backfield. It is 4th and inches. The Rams will have 4 guys on that defensive line. Kelly Washington, the receiver, on the move. And Rudy Johnson with the Ray Bird block. Does not get it. Tommy Polly came in there. Wistrom came in there, and they stop him. And on downs, Marvin Lewis will turn it over to Mike Martz.
Well, one thing this play took, and Marvin Lewis and the Bengals just don't have it, is time. It took so long to get to the line of scrimmage for Rudy Johnson. You're better off with a straight dive or a sneak. This is playing right into Mike Martz's hands. You're giving him the ball on the 48-yard line, a short field, and an open playbook.
So they actually lost yardage on the play, and the Rams will take over on downs at the 48. The Falk touchdown one we talked about. Each quarterback has thrown an interception today. Cincinnati has won 7 of their last 9 games. The Rams have won 6 straight and 10 of their last 11.
You're talking about a situation begging for a turnover for Cincinnati's defense.
4-3-4 defense for Cincinnati. On downs, St. Louis takes over. 48, 1st and 10. That's Falk on the fly. Good speed remains in the backfield. And Bulger throws, almost picked off by Adrian Ross. That ball went whistling right over his hands. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. We'll find out everything you need to know about Super Bowl 38, the history of the game, the entertainment, and everything related to Houston. It's all at SuperBowl.com or SuperBowl.com on AOL.
They're going to have the teams that are going to be in it on there, too? They already picked those already?
Well, we've got a couple weeks left in the regular season. You want to take a stab at it?
In this league right now?
Come on.
That's nothing but a wild guess by anybody.
2nd down and 10. 48. TOP, the time of possession. Interesting in this early 2nd quarter of our game. McDonald, the receiver, is on the move. And they broke that dead play clock. Was down to 0.
Delay game, offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Well, you talk about TOP, time of possession. When you look back at this game, I think Mike Martz's team is doing something, or has done something they really excel at. That's points off turnovers. That's POT. And they're in a position right now. I consider that 4th and short stopping. That's almost like a turnover.
Well, that TOP and POT means WIN.
For them.
Yeah. It has this year. 2nd down 15. Back to the 43. Falk is in the backfield. 4-3-4 defense for the Bengals, and Bulger throws a bullet outside. Caught by the elusive Falk. Knocked down by Roman and Clemens. 44-yard line of Cincinnati. Gain of 13 yards, a couple yards shy of the 1st down.
You know, one thing when you get all these stars for St. Louis, Cincinnati has to be very careful. You're not being too careful. You know, you're not watching them instead of being a defender and attacking. A defense's basic nature is to attack. How many attacking Bengals are here? The guys are settled. They're trying to say, let's settle down and not let Marshall run too far. If you start settling in front of Marshall Falk, he's going to make you look bad.
He's got a lot of touches already.
10.
They're down in 2. 44-yard line. It's Dane Looker in motion. Backfield is open. And Bulger outside. He's now 8 of 11 throwing. Good play by Mark Roman out of LSU. Stops him shy of the 1st down on a gain of a couple. So now, with that Roman tackle, interesting play coming up for the Rams.
I'm not quite sure if that's going to be short. You saw that Looker. Watch what Looker does with the ball. He doesn't just tuck it away here. After he's hit, he reaches out. And the ball, I think, is spotted on the side where he reached the ball out to. It was a nice tackle and job by Mark Roman, but good smart thinking by Dane Looker.
He'll be short by 2 lengths.
By 2 lengths?
I know we're up so high, it could be 2 sausage links for all I know, but I'm guessing 2 links.
Or 1 patty.
Or 1 patty. Another sellout inside the dome here in St. Louis. It's an absolutely spectacular day outside. Let me see. Oh, man.
Oh, no, it's almost
3 links.
Almost a slice of ham.
Interesting call here now, as Marvin Lewis will try to gear up his defense.
I think it's the opposite of what you just saw Marvin Lewis's decision. Leslie Frazier there with the hat on as defensive coordinator. It's almost the opposite. The Rams have the momentum. The Rams are the attackers at this point. I think it's good if you go here. If you're in the kind of underdog position that earlier Marvin Lewis was in with maybe a little less consistent offense than Mike Martz has, you're looking at 2 different decisions and kinds of decisions.
3 in the secondary, 4 linebackers, 4 defensive linemen. That's how the Bengals will line up on this 4th and inches. 42-yard line.
Not a power team, but good speed has proven to be an excellent lead blocker. He's one of the reasons that Marshall Falk's run game has opened up so much over the last month.
St. Clair's a tight end on the near side. Falk with a good speed block. I don't know. Case behind. Looks like he shot through. Real Johnson was in there.
It's short.
And Clemens was stopping at 2. I think they threw him for about a 2-link loss. And on downs, it could be back over to Cincinnati, much like the Bengals just did to the Rams.
Well, John Hussey, the line judge on this near side, spotted him short of the 42-yard line is where he needed to get. See, Goodspeed had to break his stride and not go straight ahead to make his block, and Marshall Faulk had to hesitate, and Casefaharn was right there to cause that hesitation. See, Hardy comes across, he eats up Goodspeed, and then Casefaharn's there to make the play.
I love these hard-hitting safeties. I think you said a couple minutes ago they're almost like linebackers playing in the secondary.
Well, and a lot of that is, you know, the Lovie Smith, Herman Edwards, Tony Dungy defense from Tampa with John Lynch breeds big hitters and small linebackers.
The Bengals at 8-6, the Rams at 11-3. On downs, it goes back to Cincinnati. We're in St. Louis with the timeout. We're in St. Louis at the Dome. John Kitna throwing so far an interception. Mark Bulger has thrown an interception. Kitna 3 of 6. Bulger is 8 of 11. On downs, St. Louis couldn't get it, and so they turn it back over to Cincinnati, much like the Bengals just turned it back over to the Rams. 1st and 10, 43-yard line. End around. Kelly Washington with the block from Johnson in the backfield, and Archie led a tackle at the 47, and a flag is down after a gain of 5.
Kelly Washington talked about running the reverse. He says, you won't see as many wiggles from me as you would have from Peter Warwick, who's inactive for the game because of a knee scope performed Friday, but he goes, I will come around there and at least pick up positive yards.
Washington's a big rascal. He's 6'3", and he played shortstop in the minor.
There was no foul on the play. The block was from the side. 2nd down.
It's a very nice call. As Chad Johnson was the receiver in question. He's working against Travis Fisher. Watch him. Now right here, the block comes from the side. See where the helmet, his helmet is on the positive side or the front side of the defender.
Good point.
That was an excellent job by Ed Hockley and the officials calling that back.
2nd down and 5. We're going to call it the 48. 4-3-4 by the Rams, and here goes Kitna, who was hit by Archuleta, and a throw to Chad Johnson, who was grabbed and brought down on the play by Travis Fisher out of Central Florida. It's gain of 8, and they spot him at the Ram 44.
One thing you should never do is doubt the Cincinnati Bengals or the ability of Chad Johnson, covered or not, to make plays, because right there Fisher does a nice job of covering Chad Johnson. Just John Kitna puts that ball up high where Chad Johnson can get to it, and after outmuscling the defender, he outmuscles him for the ball.
Rudy Johnson in the backfield. That's Stewart, the tight end, in motion. Rudy Johnson with the Rayburg block and a Stewart block, and he moves the pile past the 40 to the 39, picking up 5. And a nice run by Rudy Johnson, who is 2 years out of Auburn, the former Southeast Conference Player of the Year.
And this young running back has done some wonders for this offense. And here's Chad Johnson last week against San Francisco, the pass from John Kitna. And his little message, pre-printed sign. You know, the best solution for this, treat him like a fan running down the field. After they score, don't show them on camera. You have to worry about signs and gyrations and phone calls.
39-yard line, 2nd down and 5. Outside, Kitna quickly, caught by Johnson, can't get away from Fisher again. Fisher's tough on that corner. Gain of 2, 3rd down. To New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Here's the update on Miami and Buffalo. First, it was Chambers scoring the touchdown. Then Nate Clements fumbles. It's recovered by the Dolphins, leads to a Mare field goal. They lead at 10-0, but Ricky Williams has just been sent to the locker room. We'll keep you posted. Back to you.
Hey, Jim, thank you. Miami has lost 2 in a row, and they've lost 4 straight December games. Big one in Buffalo for them today. 3rd down and 3. Big play for the Bengals here. They're trying to get a player off. The Rams are from the 37-yard line. Brandon Bennett gets it and runs. He got a block on the play from Graham, the center, and he gallops to the 25, and he's got a 1st down on a gain on the play of 12 yards. Damian Lewis was slow to come off on the defense for the Rams.
Hey, you know, Cincinnati was glad they were, because if you look at the play and how Marvin Lewis's offense blocked it, St. Louis had an extra player. Damian Lewis runs off the field. As soon as he ran off the field, it cleared up the blocking scheme for the offensive line. They blocked down, 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 kick out. Nice run by Bennett.
25, 1st and 10. Rudy Johnson in the backfield, and Kitna, the 5th-rated quarterback in the NFL, throws a wobbler to Johnson. Great move by Archuleta. Dancing on the side, got away from Butler, and then Aeneas Williams bangs him out of bounds near the 10-yard line on a pickup of 14 yards and another Cincinnati 1st down.
Hey, you've seen something that's unusual from St. Louis. Usually one of the better tackling teams in the NFL defensively. And Adam Archuleta, a very aggressive, excellent tackler. out of Arizona State. Gets a little too aggressive. Johnson's able to avoid him. And then Fisher goes for a little rip down, and he can't make the tackle either.
1st and 10 at the 11. 4-3-4 defense for St. Louis. Rudy Johnson, a Jeremy Johnson block, and a tackle by Archuleta, among others. And a gain of maybe a half yard on the play, 2nd down.
Yeah, one thing about Rudy Johnson in this offense we talked about, and after talking to, we saw Archuleta make that tackle, he said the same thing. The team is so patient with their running game. They'll bring Rudy Johnson at you. They'll bring Corey Dillon at you. But their one signature play is the 24 power. Pull the left guard through the right side. Power blocking by the tight ends and tackle.
Extra linebacker has been brought in. 4 in the secondary. Extra linebacker. 2nd down 7. And Kittner throws. And it's caught inside the 5. And the gang tackle ensues. And a great grab on the play by Chad Johnson. He's inside the 2. And the hit was put on him on the play by Ryan Pickett. 9-yard gain.
Nice job. Jeremetrius Butler, the corner. Look at the size difference. That's why John Kittner saw the defense, saw the one-on-one matchup with Jeremetrius Butler by Chad Johnson. Big physical receivers with Washington and Johnson. Let your guy use his body and use his size.
Corey Dillon has come in 3rd and 1, St. Louis 2-yard line.
Now's the time for that power running game we're talking about out of the Bengals.
And a quick timeout. Jeremy Johnson will line up back there with Dillon. This is a Bengals timeout. Their first of the day. They're down because of Marshall Faulk's 1-yard touchdown run. It's 3rd and 1. What do you look for here, Randy?
Regular personnel. It screams pass.
From the 2. Kittner for Kelly. Washington, 6'3", rookie wide receiver, touchdown. Terrific play.
They went after the same corner. Jeremetrius Butler for Lovie Smith's defense. A size mismatch. I mentioned at the very beginning of this game, no Peter Warrick. Does that hurt you with Kelly Washington instead? Well, look on the bright side. It gives you 2 big physical receivers to try to take advantage of a size mismatch. No hesitation out of Kittner. Throws it up there, and the shorter Butler cannot get to that ball thrown to Washington. 5 of 5 by John Kittner on that drive passing.
Graham will try to tie it with 8:40 to play in the 2nd quarter. And he does. So a touchdown pass by John Kittner, his 26th of the season.
But an excellent job. They stopped him on 4th down. They got the Ram offense off the field. They got their offense on the field, and they tied this thing up.
The rookie Washington, his 4th touchdown reception. A exquisite drive by Kittner, 5 of 5. And they got it after a good defensive stand on the Rams, who failed to get it on 4th and less than a yard. And Kittner takes him in. He's thrown a touchdown pass and a pick today in the ensuing kickoff. And Arlen Harris inside the 10, near the 6, and on the fly. And then is ran down. They had Riel Johnson over there, a backup linebacker. The Bengals could clinch the AFC North Division title with the win today combined with the Baltimore loss. They're tied with St. Louis. Here we're tied at 7, early 2nd quarter, and in Cleveland today, Baltimore has just thrown a touchdown pass, and they lead 7-0 over the Browns. 25-yard line. After the touchdown pass from Kittner to Washington, the kickoff to the 25, 1st and 10. Mark Bulger. Mano Maliuna is in motion, the tight end. Fake to Falk, the fake to Furry, and Bulger sets up a screen. Nice one-hand grab by Falk, but a great hit put on him by Rogers Beckett, the former San Diego starter. Let's go to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Kevin, you just mentioned it, but here you go. Ravens and Browns, and Anthony Wright shuffle past Terry Jones, and it's 7-0 Ravens inside of 3 minutes to go in the first half. How about this? Carolina also blitzing the Lions. 14-0. Let's go back to you.
Hey, Jim, Baltimore won the first battle this season with Cleveland 33-13, week 2.
Cleveland might go down, but they're not going to go down easy, and they're not giving Jamal Lewis another record-breaking rushing performance either.
2nd down, 11 from the 24. Mark Bulger out of West Virginia throws, caught by Holt, grabbed by Artrell Hawkins, 45-yard line, and a clean pickup of 22 yards and a St. Louis first down.
Well, we've seen the Bengal receivers do a nice job of using their body and running their routes. Watch Isaac Holt, very crisp route, but watch his body position in relation to Artrell Hawkins. I mean, even if Hawkins is right there, there is nowhere for Hawkins to go except through Torrey Holt to get to that ball. That was just a very crisp route and excellent position by Holt.
Holt's caught it 3 times and 50 yards. 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Extra defensive back in there for Cincinnati. Here comes Falk, blistering his way through, breaking a Hawkins tackle. Brought down by Simmons inside the Cincinnati 30, galloping for 26 yards.
Now here's the problem when you face a future Hall of Famer like a Marshall Faulk in this offense with a guy like Mike Martz. You're going to get a huge crease, but watch what Bulger does tossing this ball back. You read toss, you normally read outside. Linebackers react a little bit outside, and we've got excellent blocking on that right side from Adam Timmerman and Kyle Turley, along with Dave Woolabaugh, the center.
And the tight end Manu Maliuna got a nice block in there as well, sealing off that inside pressure.
He's only about 300 pounds as a tight end.
He's up the nice. From the 28, 1st and 10 for Bulger. And throws to the aforementioned Manu Maliuna, and he is down to the 22-yard line. Hit by Roman from the safety position. It's a gain of 7 on the play to the 22. Well, tonight on an all-new episode of Cold Case, a hitchhiker's murder looks exactly like a crime from the past. Now, the prime suspect is playing a twisted game with Detective Lily Rush. Don't miss Cold Case tonight at 8, 7 Central on CBS. With Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan, we're inside the Dome here in St. Louis. Tied at 7, a touchdown pass by Kitna, a touchdown run by Falk. The game's 2 scores. 2nd and long, 3, 22. And this is Gordon, who gets by Beckett and is brought down by Hawkins. First carry today for Lamar Gordon. 2 years out of North Dakota State, a former 3rd-round pick, a gain of 6 to the 17.
Man, neither one of these running backs, or Gordon or Falk, are particularly big. You know, but last week this Ram team played the Seahawks, and they played them twice this year. And the consistent comment from the Seahawk defenders, they were amazed how strong Marshall Faulk is, how strong Gordon is. Not necessarily the big, 250, 240-pound power backs, but downstairs, down there in the running back's kitchen, below the waist, those legs, they're as strong as a lot of linebackers in this league.
And there's a quick discussion on the field here with Hockley and his crew. The ball's at the 17 after a gain of 6 moments ago and a 1st down.
70 reports. 70 reports.
That's Sinclair.
We talked about Manu Maliuna, 86. Watch what Mike Martz does with him so often, especially against a defense like Marvin Lewis puts on the field. They'll line him up in the backfield, they'll motion, they'll move him along. But if you follow 86, a lot of the times he's going to take you right to the ball.
4 linebackers, 3 in the secondary. 1st down and 10. 17-yard line. The fake to Falk, and Bulger lofting it. And back of Falk, the coverage by Kevin Hardy, who played at Illinois. Incomplete, no yellow on the field. 2nd down.
That one goes into the the win column, the lose column, and for a quarterback, the that's on me column. That's on Mark Bulger, because Hardy did a pretty good job of covering, but Marshall Faulk ran that route perfectly. If Bulger puts that ball down the field in front of Falk, it's a touchdown. Look at Falk. He's got the edge on Hardy. The ball's thrown behind him. If it's out in front of him, you see those hands go up in the air real quick like, hey, I did my deal.
5 in the secondary for Cincinnati. 2nd down and 10. 17-yard line. Gordon in the backfield. The fake to him. And he'll go out in the route. And Bulger will throw. It's intercepted and dropped. Artrell Hawkins had it. They were looking for Looker at about the goal line. Incomplete. Hawkins has 1 pick this year. 3rd down and 10 for the Rams.
Just good break on the ball by Artrell Hawkins. And Mark Bulger's gotten a lot of criticism, and this pass by him, very strong, very effective, on a rope. You have to remember, when you talk about a quarterback like Bulger, he hasn't started from day one. Kurt Warner got all the snaps in training camp, all the snaps in preseason, and it really wasn't until the 2nd week of the season that Mark Bulger really got many first-unit snaps at all, because Kurt Warner was taking them all, getting ready to come back.
6 in the secondary. 3rd down, 10. 17-yard line. Here they come at Bulger, who moves up niftily, has to get to about the 7. He's got Torrey Holt, who is smothered by Justin Smith, and shy of a 1st down at about the 8-yard line, it appears, and a gain of 9, and Holt is injured.
And when they signal that fast, You've got to look at how Torrey Holt landed on that end of that play, too. I think he may have landed right on the ball. It's the one part of the field that Torrey Holt is not exactly crazy about going into. He says, I don't mind going in there where they live, but when I go in like there, I'm getting outside. And see, he landed right on top of the ball because Justin Smith came in from the backside and pancaked him.
We're tied at 7. A Kitna touchdown pass, a Falk touchdown run, an injury timeout with under 5 to play in the first.
There's Justin Smith, number 90, the third-year defensive end out of the University of Missouri, former #1 pick. That's hustling out of a big guy, and that's putting a little hurting on a wide receiver when you get there, but Holt's up, and he's fine.
Here's Wilkins, the #1 scorer in the NFL, with a field goal of 26 yards, and he puts him up by a 10-7 count. It was a 4th and 1, and they decided to go for 3.
Part of that's that red zone thing we talked about earlier. That's why Wilkins has kicked so many field goals.
Good job by the Bengals to hold him out of the end zone. He didn't have enough time to update Torrey Holt. Just had the wind knocked out of him. Ran off the field under his own power, so he will return. Wilkins just knocked through a 26-yard field goal. We're in the first half. 4:39 remaining in it. #1 scorer in the NFL, Wilkins. A good job by the Cincinnati defense to keep St. Louis out of the end zone.
Well, you know, Torrey Holt's fine. Justin Smith kind of squeezed the air out of him. I don't know if you'd say just knocked it out indiscriminately. Justin Smith did, but, you know, Wilkins, 30-plus field goals. You get a kicker with 30-plus field goals like he's got, you know, it's for a reason. You have a very, very strong leg, or your offense doesn't finish drives in the red zone, and that's been the case for this Ram offense.
Kenny Watson and Brandon Bennett are back. Watson was inactive last week against San Francisco. He was out of Penn State. And after his 26-yard field goal puts the Rams on top, here's the kickoff inside the dome here in downtown St. Louis, and Bennett will take it to a knee. He'll leave it there. They'll bring it out. From the 21st and 10.
And we talked earlier about this field and this track being such a fast place for St. Louis to play. There's a good reason it's so fast. It's one of the last old AstroTurf fields left here in the NFL.
4-3-4 Ram defense. A lot of noise here for Kitna to battle in that offense. The touchback to the 20 after the field goal by the Rams puts him up. First down and 10. They got Dillon in the backfield, and Kitna drops back. Second option. The pocket crumbles, and Wistrom's got him. And was it a fumble? It looked like it was down. It was, even though you see squirting outside Corey Dillon. A loss of a yard, is sacked by St. Louis. They're 28th in the last 7 games.
Well, excellent protection, but better coverage down the field. John Kitna wanted to throw it 1-2-3 go, and he had to go 1-2-3 hold. And Ed Hockley was very definitive with that down by contact move. As you take a look at Grant Wistrom, see that field, the turf? You're used to seeing a very much looser, longer blades. This is a lot harder and a lot firmer surface.
Let's split that sack between Little and Wistrom. Second down, 13. It's Corey Dillon, who is whacked on the play by Jason Sehorn. It's a gain of 9. The flag is down. It's against the Bengals.
It's a hold against the Bengals, called by Ed Hockley, the referee.
Holding, offense number 76. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That's their Pro Bowl left tackle.
Well, Levi Jones, who had a scope done on his knee last week and then came back and played in his game. Here's Levi Jones right here. Played in that game last week. Cincinnati played against San Francisco, really gutted it out. See where he just kind of grabs him and does that quick little throw? That's right in front of the official. The referee will see that. I don't necessarily think that's holding, but it stands out so much, the official thinks it has to be illegal.
The Rams are going to line up with 6 defensive backs. They played a lot of dime defense today. Second and 21.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't bring the heat.
Right.
That's what's different about Lovie Smith's defense here. You've got a blitzer like Adam Archuleta that's as good coming after the quarterback with 5 sacks as any linebacker.
Hushmanzada is in with Johnson and Washington. Second down and 21. TJ Hushmanzada is in motion. Here they come. Look out. Here comes Leonard Little. Almost picked off. Incomplete. It was almost grabbed in the middle by the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Tyoka Jackson, number 97.
Just a nice job, too, by this defense. Here comes Archuleta. Behind him comes Cody, and he's unblocked. Archuleta eats up the blocker. Cody gets the express lane, and the pass is batted down.
It's at the 9. It's 3rd and 21.
Nice job by Leonard Little coming off the edge also.
Absolutely. The shovel pass caught by Brandon Bennett. A block by Hirschman-Zada. A tackle made by Wistrom. He's up to the 24. They had to get to the 30. It's a 14-yard gain and a bit more breathing space for their punter, Kyle Richardson.
A bit more. You want to kick the ball standing in the end zone with this crowd going absolute bananas? I think it was an absolutely critical play for Cincinnati, getting a chance to give Kyle Richardson some extra room, and he now has angles.
Mike Furry is back. He's a year out of Northern Iowa. Played in the AFL, the XFL, and now he's in the NFL. High hanging punt and fair caught. 44-yard line by Furry. Again, Isaac Bruce out today with an ankle. It should play come playoff time for the Rams. 33-yard punt. Good play by Tyoka Jackson on that last series. Well, on deck is the next Hill halftime report, and what a day in the NFL. One big game with playoff implications after another. Join Jim, Dan, Dion, Boomer. Scores, news, highlights coming up next on the Nextel halftime report from New York.
This next 3 weeks, 4 weeks is the best.
It is.
You got Saturday, Sunday games, and you're talking Saturday games from 1 o'clock till way dark 30.
4-3-4 Cincinnati defense. 45-yard line. Bulger 1st and 10. The fake to Falk. Hit as he throws by Smith, and it's incomplete. They were going for Manu Maliuna. It was covered by Simmons, and boy, they got right inside his helmet.
And the nice thing about that, you were able to put that pressure on with only 4 rushers. You didn't have to resort to a blitz.
The Rams tied for the best NFC record with Philadelphia at 11-3, and the Bengals tied with Baltimore atop the North in the AFC at 8-6. Second down and 10, 45-yard line. 4 receivers deployed. Falk at the side of Bulger, and Wollaball with the shotgun snap on a 3-man defensive line with the 4th linebacker rushing, and a pass outside caught by McDonald, who was drilled by Reggie Miles. It's a gain of 11. The rookie from Arizona State, Sean McDonald, with his 8th catch of the season.
Well, and only 3 defensive linemen there, but Kevin Hardy, for all intents and purposes, is the extra lineman. 51, the linebacker coming from the offense's left. Mark Bulger stands up and fires at the Sean McDonald on the right side. Arizona State, another Pac-10er, as is Adam Archuleta out of Arizona State.
6 defensive backs for the Bengals. 3 on the line. It is a first down. Here comes the blitz with Miles. Bulger throws downfield, incomplete, looking for McDonald. He was covered by Case Fajarn. 2nd and 10. St. Louis has scored on a Falk 1-yard touchdown run. Cincinnati on a touchdown pass. John Kitna to the rookie. Kelly Washington, and the field goal of 26 yards, the difference by Wilkins.
You know, watching this Ram offense in the past, and Kelly Washington taking himself a little breather on the sideline there. It used to be like watching a 20-year-old pickup truck transport nitroglycerin, because you knew that at any bump the thing was going to go up. And this offense used to be able to just go off at any second. Back in the greatest show on earth days, and now they're a little more basic.
2nd and 10. Bengal 44. Somebody moved. That's
speaking of basics.
Yes.
False start offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Has been called twice, and he is a 10-year veteran out of Toledo. 4 penalties, 3 on the Ram offense this afternoon.
And an offensive lineman does that either when they really, really like something and can't wait to get at it, or are really, really worried about something or someone.
You know, I saw in the pregame warmups they had offensive linemen that moved illegally twice, which is rare. You don't see that in the pregame warmups, but twice today I saw the Rams do that.
Well, it's not only the quarterback can be greedy.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen can be greedy too. They can't wait to get a pass play going because they know it can be a big shot.
Moving back to the 49 of Cincinnati, where it's 2nd down and 15. Extra defensive backs, 3 linemen, and here comes Bulger. Zips a pass inside, which is hauled in and caught by Mike Furry. It's a gain of 11 to the 38-yard line.
And a nice tackle by Rogers Beckett, bringing him down. I mean, that was a good job of a safety coming up, wrapping his arm, and putting the wide receiver immediately on the ground. And unfortunately, nowadays in this league, those are exceptional plays. Those stand out because everybody else is grabbing.
It's the 2-minute warning in a game with playoff implications in the NFL. 2-minute warning. 3rd and 4 for the Rams at the Bengal 38-yard line.
Yeah, Wilkins has 36 for the season, as long as 53. Remember, the NFL record is 39 in a single season.
Made field goals. You're right.
That's right.
Well, here we go after the 2-minute warning.
Another 5 yards to get inside his range.
Manu Maliunik is in the backfield, as is Falk, and Bulger quickly tosses, caught by Holt. And drilled by Rogers, Beckett, and John Thornton got the first down. Progress takes him to the 29. It's a gain of 9 on 3rd and 4, and the Rams will move the chains.
When an offense is running like this, and we've seen quarterbacks throwing to receivers like Kitten and Bulger have, how do you stop that? I mean, Mike Martz only could tell you how you can. I mean, I don't think you can. The ball's being thrown exactly to a spot into air, which Bulger does as well as anybody out there, and Torrey Holt goes after it, but I can't see how a defense could defend that.
29-yard line, extra defensive backs in there for the Bengals. A block by Pace. Bulger swings a pass. Incomplete, dropped by Furry, and on the deflection almost gotten by Artrell Hawkins.
Yeah, how often do we seen that during a football season? Yeah, a receiver reaching back or reaching up for a ball, oftentimes better off letting the thing just go, because the tip puts it into the territory where a defender can get at it.
Slows it just enough to become catchable.
Plus, if he had caught it, Case Beharn would have lit him up.
Yep. 2nd down and 10. The Rams have scored a lot inside 2 minutes. 8 touchdowns this season inside 2 minutes. Falk in the backfield. Furry on the end around. McComb will give an entourage and a block, and brought down by Justin Smith. 28-yard line, gain of a yard. After all that, down to about the, like I said, 28. Smith is all over the field on that defensive line. He's playing sideline to sideline.
Well, I mean, Justin Smith's got about 30 folks in from Missouri. He's trying to put on a show. Listen to this hit.
Furry felt it.
That's when you get about 280 pounds of defensive end smushing a wide receiver.
There was nothing more than Furry about that hit at all. There is a timeout on the field.
Great these next couple of weeks are. It's also one of those weeks you look at our scoreboard and clock at the upper left-hand side, and on the other side where the other scores come, you're in a dilemma. Do I want updates or do I want the game?
After that timeout, it is 3rd and 9 at the 28. Falk is the lone running back. And Mark Bulger with a nice Kyle Turley block, providing time, and a touchdown pass to Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt beat Torrey James for 6.
There ought to be a law. Wide receivers shouldn't be able to be that wide open. Saw a great show put on by Randy Moss on CBS yesterday up in the Metrodome, and Torrey Holt puts on one heck of a show on this pass.
That is only his 2nd touchdown reception in the last month. He did have one last week against Seattle, so 2 straight games. And are they getting buzzed from upstairs? They must be. We're inside 2 minutes, so they can't challenge. You cannot challenge as a coach, but upstairs the booth can't say they want another look at it.
Well, it can't be because he wasn't wide open enough.
No.
No help from the safety. Torrey James is beat. Got it.
Oh, ball control, though. Do you think he had control? Looked like he did.
Well, just because he didn't put it away doesn't mean he didn't have it.
Right. We'll have to see, because I think that's what they're going to review here from upstairs.
Yeah. And you're rightfully so. You got to be sure, but the official upstairs gets a chance. Watch the ball. Is it moving? It's pinned and got it. I don't know. See that left foot?
I'd like to look at that one more time. Left foot, you say?
When he actually puts the ball away, the left foot looks like it comes right on the line. Right, gets itself a little bit of white right by the toes.
So he had the left foot down initially, but the ball was still moving around. Boom, there's one foot, but the ball's loose. Oh, you're right.
That left foot right there.
You're right.
We saw it from the one angle we showed here. Well, watch this. Watch his left foot.
And the ball is
bobble.
Loose.
Got it. That's one foot. There's the second.
Ooh, that's on the white. That's on the chalk, it appears.
Here's the angle. Got it. Put it away. One. Wow, that's just inside.
I don't know.
I think he stubs it. I wouldn't call that
that's the eye.
That's not dotting the eye. That's stubbing the eye.
It's dragging the eye.
Yeah. That's not enough. That's not enough for a full dot. Torrey Holt kind of stubbed it.
Torrey Holt has had a terrific season.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
And Mark Bulger has his first touchdown pass today. That comes at a very interesting time just before halftime, and now 9 touchdowns by the Rams inside 2 minutes this year. It's one of the best in the NFL. Wilkins tags on one more. Now it is a 17-7 St. Louis Rams lead.
There's that safety help I was talking about. Rogers, Beckett. There's the Torreys. Holt and James. Beckett goes inside, takes the fake. He can't get to Holt, who's heading the other direction. Wow. This offense, designed by Mike Martz, has the ability to run plays that make it impossible for teams to make the proper decision. And they can make defenses look worse than any other team in this league.
These are absolutely eye-popping numbers by
the Jerry Rice numbers.
Exactly. In fact, he came in today needing only 331 yards to pass Jerry Rice for the single season NFL.
How about that
receiving
name?
record? Yeah.
When you get to Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch, you know you're digging into the record book. You dig in when they were the Cleveland Rams and then the LA Rams.
Very good.
You're talking Crazy Legs, and that was back in the days. Otto Graham, who passed away this week, the famous Cleveland Browns quarterback. That's back in those days, back when Otto Graham was tossing passes and Crazy Legs was catching passes from Bob Waterfield. I grew up in LA. I know the Rams.
Still, this is very impressive. You dug into the encyclopedia today. Brandon Bennett will leave it in the end zone. Touchback to the 20. After the touchdown reception by Torrey Holt. Monday on CBS, CSI Miami has seen a lot of murder victims, but never quite like this one because she is still alive. Don't miss an unforgettable hour of television. CSI Miami, Monday on CBS.
You know, I think if you're scared in the NFL, you ought to buy a dog. But there's times to be not conservative, but smarter. This would be a good time to be smarter, despite the disparity in yardage in the show put on by Torrey Holt. If you're Cincinnati, be extremely smart. 47 seconds to go in this half. Don't do anything to jeopardize this game at this point.
They've got Matt Schobel and Brandon Bennett in the backfield. 1st and 10, 20. And Kitna going deep down the middle, and he's got Chad Johnson with a great catch at the 35. And now they're thinking field goal, maybe more. The Bengals have 2 timeouts. St. Louis won a 46-yard strike.
Well, there's nothing dumb about throwing the ball 50 yards down the field if none of the defenders are with your guy.
So no
wow,
one was
excellent
with Chad
job.
Johnson.
Excellent job of protection by the Bengals line. And look at Chad Johnson. How do you get that wide open? Talked about Torrey Holt and the Ram offense getting wide open. Chad Johnson absolutely, goes invisible. Hey, look, the nearest defender's Archuleta in that picture. He's 20 yards away.
If there is a heart and soul of this team, it may be this young kid, Chad Johnson.
It beats in those orange shoes.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got the attitude, but I tell you what, he's got the right kind of attitude. I know he puts on a show once in a while, but that is just pure young enthusiasm coming out of Chad Johnson.
Now 38 seconds remaining in the first half at the Ram 33. They got Bennett in the backfield. Intercepted. They were sending Jason Sehorn into the teeth of that pass, and he just about took it. It's 2nd down and 10.
Teddy Bruschi would have had it.
Yes, he would.
Jason Sehorn coming right here at safety, jumps up. This is just like the interception that Teddy Bruschi had yesterday working against Chad Pennington. He leaped up from about the same distance and snagged it, but excellent defensive call by Lovie Smith. And in this position, there's no back down in John Kitna, and there's usually no back down in the Bengals.
Timeout apiece. Kitna's got a touchdown pass today. 2nd and 10, 33-yard line. They send everybody. Here comes Wistrom, and there goes Kitna with the pass, which is incomplete. Looking for Chad Johnson. 3rd and 10 And so now you start to think about 3 with another play remaining, and you think about Shane Graham and what he can do and where he can do it from.
Well, his long of 47 means you got to get to about the 29 to get into the proper position. So you're about 4 yards short of being the edge of Shane Graham's range. But John Kitna, 31 seconds to go, 1 timeout left. You're not thinking field goal. You're still thinking 6.
6 defensive backs, 33-yard line, 3rd and 10. And it's Brandon Bennett, and brought down by Polly, and also hit by Tayoka Jackson. Gain of 2 down to about the 30-yard line. And now we've got, as the clock continues to tick.
Kitna right there with Ed Hockley. He's just waiting for this thing to run down, and then he's going to go ahead and call the timeout.
Scoring before halftime for a team on the road like Cincinnati, invaluable from a mentality standpoint.
Well, especially in this situation in St. Louis. You see they're right there in the blue area, 74% for Graham. So you're playing percentages. You're trying to get those points and go into the locker room down 7 instead of down 10.
Cincinnati just burned their final timeout. Graham, interesting story. He was battling in Carolina's training camp with John Casey, who is one of the greats of all time. They waived him, and then he was quickly gobbled up by Cincinnati. His 3rd team. He's also played with Buffalo, and he's had a very good year, 21 of 23.
One of the more unusual stories today, I was reading all the newspapers on the internet. Brad St. Louis, the long snapper, 48 for the Bengals, signed a 6-year extension. They signed a long snapper to a 6-year extension. Talk about pressure usually on this situation. You get your snapper trying to get the ball to the holder. You need the perfect combination here this far outside on Graham's range. This will be a season long.
48 yards, longest has been 47 this season up until now. St. Louis with the snap, Richardson with the hold, and the kick has got the distance, and it is good. And that is a big 3 points for the Cincinnati Bengals.
But the Bengals don't need confidence. John Kitna doesn't need confidence. He had a chip on his shoulder last night. This football team is making all the calls, being aggressive, and they've got a chip on their shoulder today. That's what I think a lot of people around the country who are following football don't understand about the Bengals. This is not a fluke as far as they're concerned. They are this good.
Cincinnati has won 2 of their last 3 on the road. St. Louis is undefeated at home this season, 7-0. That's the end of the first half. And the Bengals are down now by 7. Coming up, the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local CBS station. Wilkins knocks it to Bennett from the 2-yard line for the Cincinnati Bengals. And up the middle, Cody got a hand on him. And let's see, maybe it was Cody who made the tackle. 30-yard return.
What a nice bounce back by John Kitna. He threw that interception and then promptly went 7 of 7 and has been very effective. Not much for Corey Dillon, but it's been a team effort. You've had Bennett, you've had Rudy Johnson. Chad Johnson is the lonely end there at the end of the second quarter, running through the defense by himself.
What a big-time catch.
Oh, absolutely. When they've needed the big ones all year long, Chad Johnson's the man to get it.
Corey Dillon is in. 30-yard line, 1st and 10. It's the tight end. Stewart on the move, and the pitch out to Dillon. Out racing Wistrom. Yes, he does. Touched the corner and is hit by Travis Fisher and Aeneas Williams. Marked the ball at the 37, gain of 8. Johnson has had a terrific 3rd season in the NFL.
Cincinnati 2nd and 3.
Yeah, he's got the most yards ever for a Bengal receiver. That's been some good ones there. But I mean, he's going to put that record out there. He's going to be up there in the 1,800 yard territory in the next couple of years.
2nd and long, 2. Dillon remains and will go out in a pattern as Kitna throws, and it's caught by Chad Johnson and is brought down at the Ram 38-yard line. Archuleta got him from behind, one of a couple Rams with the tackle. 25-yard catch and run.
Now, if you're a young receiver out there, you want to see how it's supposed to be done after the catch. And we can talk about the nice route. It's a nice route. It's a great pass by Kitna, but watch him go up the field. He catches it. He was crossing in front of the safeties, but as soon as he got it, he went right up the field using that strength.
38-yard line. He was holding his left hand on that play. Dillon remains in the backfield. And Corey the call. hit, brought down. Butler was the first to nab him on the side, and a loss of, what, about 3 yards back to the 40-yard line. He's hurting.
Get a little bit of a stinger sometimes when you come down on that left tackle. Remember, he goes right up the field. Archuleta gets him.
Look at the helmet, maybe, of Tino Samoa may have cracked him. Huh?
Maybe a little shoulder, maybe just a little bit of stinger. So, throw it to the right hand. Let the right hand do the talking. The left one's
typical offensive lineman reply. 2nd down and 12. Getting with the little play action, got away, and zings a pass incomplete. Looking for Kelly Washington, covered by Aeneas Williams. Archuleta back there as well. It'll be 3rd and 12.
It's another thing when you throw against this defense. You've got linebackers back deep, and Chad Johnson in this angle looks open, but see the safety right there, Aeneas Williams? That's why that pass went underneath. You may normally say, why? He's running by himself. Well, he had company at 35, and the ball had to go underneath, and there was a linebacker, Tino Samoa, right there, ready to bat that down.
6 defensive backs, 1 linebacker, 4 in the line, 3rd and 12. Getting to the shotgun snap. Good block by Anderson, tipped and intercepted by Archuleta. He's up and on the fly. And Kitna brought him down.
That is his first career interception.
That is amazing.
Adam Archuleta, who spent so much time in the defensive backfield. I talked to him Friday. I asked him, now when you get that first pick, are you going to take it back all the way? He says, the heck with all the way. I got to get the first one. Well, Adam, you got the first one. What do you do with the next one?
Archuleta's interception brings the ball to the 50, and the Rams have their first second-half possession where it's 1st and 10. The fake the Falk. And chased by Thornton, hit by Williams. They'll dump off the Falk. And a nice hit made by Adrian Ross. No gain on the play, 2nd down. That last interception by the Rams, terrific.
Well, watch Brandon Bennett. I mentioned earlier, sometimes you're better letting the ball go. Don't just put a hand out there and tip it up.
Yep.
I mean, that happens at least 2 times a game. And if you're a St. Louis Ram fan, you are used to that happening. Because the balls, when they go in the air and they're tipped against Lovie Smith's defense, with all the tip drills they do in training camp and during the offseason, they get, this is a guess, obviously, but I bet 80% of the tips they turn into turnovers.
5 in the secondary, 2 linebackers, 4 on the line. 2nd down, 10. Bolger and bobbled by Holt. He may have heard some footsteps there coming from the secondary and Rogers Beckett.
He was just checking.
We're going to check in with Jim Nance in our studios in New York.
All right, thank you guys. Got a little update. Just as you guys were checking out an interception in your game, we have one as well right here as Anthony Wright puts it up and is picked off by Earl Little. So the score remains 7-0 Baltimore. Meanwhile, Carolina up 20-0 here. We know all the scenarios here to clinch that first-round bye. Let's go back to you.
Ravens, Jim, have lost their last 4 road games, and turnovers have been the culprit. Good report. Thank you. 3rd and 10. 50-yard line, the shotgun snap from Wollabaugh. Here comes Burris on the blitz. A wobbly pass, incomplete. Hawkins was on Holt, and they got a punt, so they can't do anything with the Archuleta interception. They can't cash in, and St. Louis has got a punt.
Boy, the poor Detroit Lions.
Oh, I know it.
This will be 24.
They got smeared last week in Kansas
Matt Millen
City.
made some comments last week. And everybody said, oh, they should fire. No, you should be fired for the job he's done the last 3 years. Personnel and not building that football team.
They've had a lot of high picks.
Oh, I mean, it is horrendous. Those fans of Detroit are such strong football fans. We saw that when the Raiders went in there and the Lions beat them.
And they sold out the place with that horrible record. Landetta will punt. And deep back is Burris, who deflected that last pass, and it takes a bounce where they try to volleyball with DeJuan Gross. They tried, it couldn't get it done. 50-yard punt. So the interception by Kitna does not hurt Cincinnati. Flag has been thrown, and here comes Burris, who was taken down at the 5.
Ball was touched and down. He can run that out without penalty.
And a flag was thrown.
That's for too many players on the field because the Ram players started running on the field.
And everybody was just standing around looking at each other, in particular the officials.
But that's an option.
With Burris,
it was a smart play because Burris, even if you get that, if you run down the field and turn the ball over, it'll be erased.
Remember Robert Bailey of the Rams did that a couple years ago, I think in New Orleans, right?
Down in New Orleans. Benny Thompson. Remember that unbelievable return by McAllister off that missed field goal on that Monday night game with Denver. Baltimore. 108 yards.
Well, as they try to sort it out on the field.
See, look at
Burris just picks it up.
See, Burris does a nice job, and I don't blame him being a little bit winded, but the ball is in the end zone.
Had it been touched by the Rams? We got to see now if they have.
Well, a touchdown by the Rams.
Right. Here we go.
The ball was never touched dead in the end zone. It was therefore a live ball, legally picked up and returned by Cincinnati. However, both teams had players come on the field during that return, making an illegal substitution by both the offense and the defense. By rule, that penalty is enforced by putting the ball down at the spot of Cincinnati's foul, and Cincinnati keeps the ball at that spot, first down.
What a terrific move by Jeff Burris. Now watch this again.
Now the attempt is made at the play, okay? Now the ball's going to die. Here's Jeff Burris.
Let's see.
Look at Jeff Burris, 21.
It hits him.
He says, hey, what the heck? I'll just pick it up and go. Now, if he's tackled in the end zone, it's not going to be a safety. You can do this and run out, and you're basically going to do it with impunity. Now, the flag on too many guys on the field was thrown on the near side in front of the Rams bench. What a nice heads-up play by Jeff Burris. Down at the bottom of the screen, look down in this area as we get going, and this play runs. You'll see players running onto the field. So you got Bengals running off and Rams running on. But you had too many of either.
Heads-up play. That may be one of the key plays of this game. 27-yard line, 1st and 10. Corey Dillon getting a Braham block to the 30 and hit by Young and brought down after a gain of 3. Young plays on that defensive line for the Rams. He's out of Texas, El Paso.
Now remember, the ball never being downed, Ed Hockley explained it perfectly. It is then still a live ball till whistle dead. So it's not down. The ball is live. Now the Cincinnati players, when I said you can do it with impunity, Burris can pick this up, be immediately tackled in the end zone. It's not a safety. Okay? He could fumble it, and they'd still get the ball. I mean, that was a smart play by Jeff Burris.
2nd down and 7 from the 30-yard line. It's Dillon. He is grabbed and brought down by Tino Samoa. Gain of 1 on the play. And just beyond the 30 is where they'll spot it.
Yeah, Tino Samoa has been a wonderful difference maker for this defense. You talk about some of the young linebackers. You got Poley and you know, you've lost a linebacker out of UCLA, the middle linebacker Robert Thomas. Jamie Duncan's in there now, the old Tampa Bay Buck. But part of this defense has been the young players and the contributions they've made.
6 in the secondary. 31-yard line, 3rd and 6. 3 receivers deployed for John Kitna, who slings a pass and caught by Chad Johnson. First down, 50-yard line, a 19-yard pickup, Jim Nance, as we send it to you in New York.
All right, we've got almost an instant turnaround here. We've been waiting all day for Jamal Lewis to break one like he did in that first matchup. In fact, he broke them 3 times. He's done it right here just moments ago. 72 yards, over 100 now on the day, and a 14-0 lead. Ravens. Let's go back to Kevin and Randy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim, thank you. Lewis has 168 yards per game. But look at that right there, huh? Remaining games, a big one against Pittsburgh. Johnson, first down and 10, gets this pass and drops it at the 40-yard line, incomplete.
Yeah, you talk about Jamal Lewis. Remember that game earlier this year where he set that record rushing? He was right around 2 yards a carry on 22 carries for about 40-something, 50 yards. Of course, the other 5 carries, he had about 180 yards off with a big run. So, you know, that speaks to the tackling and something Marvin Lewis's and the Lovie Smiths of this league drill like crazy. But it seems in the games under pressure right now, this is the worst tackling we've seen in the NFL.
2nd and 10. Washington is in motion. The wide receiver, Rudy Johnson, breaks a quick tackle by Little, then is gang tackled by Young and Wistrom and others. He just nudges the ball past the 50 for a gain of a yard. By the way, Johnson today, 7 carries and 10 yards for Cincinnati.
That's been the difference too these last 6 games as they've turned it on. I mean, the bottom line has been they rush the ball, they win. And it's been Rudy Johnson, especially in the second half. Second half is Bengals running, and that's Rudy time.
Washington, Johnson, Cushman's out of the 3 receivers. 6 in the secondary for St. Louis. Bennett in motion. And here comes Kidney, hit by Western and brought down. Sacked again. Back at the 47. Second today by St. Louis.
Well, the Rams have one of the best defensive line coaches in the business, and Bill Kolar, and they are taught effort and go after people. And I mean every single play, never give an inch. And Grant Wistrom there working against Levi Jones just takes the tight corner and gets himself a sack.
So after that great play by Burris, who took it out of the end zone and raced downfield, it's almost blocked there. Justin Smith almost got in there for the Rams. The punt by Richardson sails into the end zone, and they do down it. 53-yard punt.
Kind of makes you pay attention on those, doesn't it?
Gotta know, yeah. Timeout. And after that punt, touchback to the 20, 1st and 10 for the Rams. They've gotten a Bulger touchdown pass, a Falk touchdown run. And they've got Falk in the backfield. And a tackle made on that line by Clemens after a 2-yard gain. Make it 3, 2nd down and 7.
There's Jim Hannafin, the offensive line coach, 31 years in the NFL. Honored here today, the last man introduced. You know, you folks out there don't get a chance to hear too much about offensive line coaches, but you're looking at a guy right there who was one of the top 5 that has ever coached his position. Former head coach here, was a winner in 82, 83, and 84 as a head coach for the St. Louis Cardinals.
2nd down and 7 from the 23. The fake to Falk, and Bulger with plenty of time outside, uncatchable for Dane Looker. Covered by Roman. Busy day, Jim. Let's go to you in New York.
All right, we got a little Tennessee highlight here. Titans clinch up berth with a win. Is it a McNair highlight? No, it's a McCree highlight. We're talking about Marvin McCree of the Texans. He's going 95 yards. It's the longest interception return in that young franchise's history, and this game is tied at 10. If the Titans lose, it gives the Colts the division. Let's go back to you.
Wow, big game.
Didn't McCree sing for the 5th dimension?
Yes, he did. He was a guy who began with Jacksonville. A former Jacksonville starter, was cut, and then he was reeled in by the Houston Texans when Matt Stevens began to struggle on their secondary. 3rd and 7. And Bulger with a pass caught. A beautiful grab by Furry. He's at the 39-yard line, covered by James. Rowan was over there too, and a 16-yard pickup and a 1st down.
That's an answer pass. And what does it answer? It answers how strong is Mark Bulger's arm. Throwing from the far hash mark. This thing is on a rope, sizzling for about 45 yards across the field and up. You look there at Mike Furry, the first year out of northern Iowa. Remember, Isaac Bruce is not in this game. He's inactive with that high ankle sprain suffered last week.
39, 1st and 10. Looker in motion. Marshall Falk with the Wollerball pull and a drive up to about the 44. And hit by Glenn Steele, among others. A 6-yard run by Marshall Falk. Which team's stadium is the toughest to play in during a road playoff game? This is our NFL interactive poll. Cast your vote at NFL.com. It's a good group.
Oh, yeah.
All of them are tough.
We talked about Jim Hannafin and the job he's done as an offensive line coach. The best offensive line he probably ever had is here in St. Louis with Dan Deerdorf and Conrad Dober and Tom Banks.
2nd down long 4 just beyond the 44. Good speed in the backfield. Now Falk will position himself back there and gets the handoff. Justin Smith brings him down, shy of the 1st down by a couple yards. He gains 2 to 3 yards on the play. Rams have won the division. They are in the playoffs. There's a look at our colleague Dan Deerdorf's name up here inside the dome in St. Louis.
A Hall of Famer, and
yes,
he belongs on that ring. And
he does.
You know, one thing that's common, he coached that great St. Louis line. He coached the old Hogs in the 90s. He's had excellent offensive lines. A man who's just attention to detail and technique. No matter your athletic ability, no matter your size, he stressed technique so hard to all his players. You know, a coach can make players great, and in his case, he made a lot of really good players great.
6 in the secondary, 47-yard line, 3rd and a long one. Falk back there, and he'll offer a block, buying time for Bulger, who throws a completed pass to Holt. He was grabbed by Torrey James, and they've got the first down by a couple yards. Gain of 5. Pretty play and a first down for the St. Louis Rams. It's the new record for Torrey Holt, the Rams.
100-yard game on 4 catches. How's he doing so far?
Including a touchdown reception. You're right. 48 of Cincinnati. Cam Cleveland in the backfield, and they blow that dead in mid-motion. So the Rams have won the West. Cincinnati is tied for first place. There's a late flag coming in from the side.
That's a little altercation, punchki kind of deal.
Punchki?
Punchkis. Got some punchkis inside. Punchkis go both ways.
All right.
A punch is thrown by one guy.
Cincinnati is tied with Baltimore, and I like it though. You West Coast guys can say anything and make it sound good. 8-6. And the Rams 11-3. Rams have won their division and tied for first place. Cincinnati in the AFC North. Baltimore playing in Cleveland. A tough game.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. False start. Offense number 89 was also a personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the defense number 94. By rule, the 15-yard penalty is enforced, resulting in an automatic first down for Cincinnati, for St. Louis.
And Marvin Lewis is going nuts. And you know what? I think he's got a pretty good case, because I said punchki, and the punch is 1 and the punchki is 2, and you've got a punchki. Here's Williams 94 and McCollum 67. See, McCollum hits him the first one, but it's the dreaded second guy.
Yeah. They
never penalize the first guy. But McCollum had the first shot to the face, and
how can these crews not see that? I just don't understand. It's not like the play is in motion. They're standing there, and all eyes are in the middle.
Well, part of it is McCollum pushes him in the face and then turns, and then Williams gives the slap to the back of the head, kind of a, defenseless player. But I tell you what, it's losing your poise. It's a bad move by Williams, but it should also have been called against McCollum.
First and 10, 33-yard line, deep in Cincinnati territory. It's Dane Looker on the fly, 4 on the line for Cincinnati. Falk hit once and brought down the second time by Brian Simmons. Gain of a yard, 32-yard line. Well, you talk about players with some playoff experience. Only 22 Ram players left over from that 0-1 Super Bowl team. And Cincinnati has 14 current Bengal players that have got playoff experience, but of course
not with the Bengals.
Not with Cincinnati. That's right.
The Bengals. Most of the last time they were in the playoffs, most of the players on their team were, well, grammar school,
1990,
high school maybe.
Seems like it. Second down and 9. Nice long drive, approaching 4.5 minutes. And incomplete outside. They're looking for Holt.
Yeah, we talk about how long has it been, and we always measure things like cell phones being used at this moment in California.
3rd and 9, 9th play of the drive. St. Louis leads on a touchdown pass and a Falk touchdown run, and that field goal from the 33. Falk with the block. They bring all kinds of pressure, and it's incomplete, and that pressure altered the pass. Good job by Cincinnati's defense. To New York in Jim Nance.
All right, speaking of defenses there, Mr. Harlan, check it out. Bledsoe and the Bills. 11 total passing yards with the 4 sacks factored in. And we've got T-Buck running it back all the way for a 20-3 Miami lead. 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Kevin and Randy.
Jim, you know, it's that turnover ratio. When they win, they're plus 15. When they lose, they're minus 12. That's a big turnover right there. Thank you.
And it's a big play there as Miami hunts that playoff position. They want to crawl back up into that wild card.
Wilkins has nailed one from 26. This will be a 50-yard try. Look at the hold. And it's got legs barely over the crossbar. Wilkins knocks in his second. And now he is in second place all time in NFL history, tied in that slot for field goals made in a year. And that just crawls over. We are in St. Louis.
I mean, there's somebody goofier looking than him he wants to take a picture of?
50-yard field goal moments ago by Wilkins. The ensuing kickoff. This is Kenny Watson, who is a reserve running back. He was hit a couple times, then brought down. Holding on for dear life was Rich Cody, and a good tackle on special teams by the ex-Ram and ex-Titan. Now back for a second stint with St. Louis. 22-yard return. No yellow on the field.
Things getting a little chippy out there.
A little bit, yeah. It's an important game. Playoff implications. The Bengals and the Rams. Two Jeff Wilkins field goals, a Falk touchdown run, a Holt touchdown reception. 26-yard line, 1st and 10, incomplete. Well, they got pressure in there again. They're up in his face. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10. Rich Cody just made that special teams tackle, did it? Tonight on CBS, a 60 Minutes exclusive. Details of the encounter Saddam Hussein had this week in his jail cell with his angry countrymen. You won't want to miss that. It's tonight on CBS with Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan. We're in St. Louis. 2nd down and 10. Heavy playoff implications here today. Rams and Bengals. Good game. Kidna, who has thrown a touchdown pass, is hit and brought down. Wistrom with his 2nd sack today. The 3rd by the Rams. And he is going in untouched and uncovered, and has been a nightmare for Bengal quarterback John Kitna this afternoon.
Well, Jason Sehorn's coming. Archuleta's coming. But watch Wistrom taking the edge on Levi Jones. Soft shoulder, quick edge. The blitz is supposed to get to you in those situations, not the defensive end. That was excellent technique and acceleration by Grant Wistrom.
2.5 sacks. He's had 2 solo, then he combined with Leonard Little on one earlier. 5 in the secondary. Kitna, 3rd and 18. Here comes Little. Here comes Young. There's the pass caught by Bennett. Well shy of the 1st down. Gain of 5. He had to get up to the 36, so they got a punt. And let's go to New York as we punt to Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you. And let's update now. The Ravens up 14-0. Last play of the 3rd quarter. Field goal try Stover. This could pretty much clinch it, given that Cleveland can't advance it here today. And it hits the upright. 14-0 it remains. Meanwhile, Carolina has given up a touch here. If Carolina wins, the Rams must win to get that home field locked up for round 1. Back to you. 1st round bye.
All right, Jim, thank you. Great updates. And here is a run outside by Mike Furry. He played in the Arena Football League in the XFL, and he runs for 15 yards, a 36-yard punt, and they'll spot him out of bounds at about the Bengal 44.
Great field position, 10-15 yards from field goal range.
Wow. With Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan, John Kitna's got a touchdown pass. Interceptions both ways in this game.
Mike Mart's a big believer. If you get good field position, you've got a team down, you go for the big shot.
1st and 10, Cincinnati 45, a Furry punt return, got in this position. Here goes Falk, gets away from Hawkins, chased by Ross, and Hardy out of bounds he goes. Close. Let's see where they're going to mark him out of bounds at about the 40-yard line, gain of 5.
Yeah, on that last play, John Kitna, who's taken every snap this year in the NFL, the only quarterback to say that. Leonard Little comes in at the end, but watch how he got him by the ankles, then twist. He looks down and says, oh, darn, the foot's not in the shoe.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't do it right.
A little wrestling move there, huh?
Could have hard time convincing Kitna, though. He feels like that foot was still in the shoe when he twisted it off.
2nd down and 5. 5 in the secondary for Cincinnati. Furry's in motion. From the Bengal 40, Marshall Falk. Got a nice block there from McCullum. Breaks the tackle of Simmons and is brought down by Rogers Beckett. And they go tumbling over each other down to the 32. It's a gain of 7. And today, rushing, Falk, 16 carries, 71 yards.
It's a little bit of the new personality of the Rams. Remember the greatest show on earth I talked about? Well, this isn't it. It's a little more conservative, a little more basic, and one of the most basic things is the running game, especially taking advantage of the fact that Marshall Falk is getting grabbed and not tackled. That was absolutely pathetic tackling by the Bengals.
Lamar Gordon taking his place since the ball is touching the 33. It's at the 33 at Cincinnati. 1st down and 10. Good speed in the backfield, and Bulger outside. Holt. They got a beat on him out there. Roman and Simmons gain of 4 to the 29.
It's one of the differences you watch the Rams in the past, since about '99 when they started this run, when Kurt Warner was at the quarterback position. I mean, Mike Martz described Kurt Warner the other day when we talked to him as, the quickest reader and one of the best quarterbacks he's ever seen at just dialing that ball off and getting it to the guys as fast as possible. In these situations, you'd expect the big strike. You expect the big play. Different Ram offense. They're hitting them with the run, and they're taking smaller chunks instead of the old Kurt Warner bolts.
St. Clair is ineligible. 2nd down and 6. Falk back in the game. Timeout Bulger. That's the first St. Louis timeout in the second half. Bulger today 20 of 33. A touchdown and an interception, just shy of 200 yards through the air. Next Saturday, a huge day of sports on CBS. It starts at a special time, 12:30 with Nance and company on the NFL Today. Then it's the NFL on CBS as the Bills take on Tom Brady and the Patriots. Following football at 5 Eastern, it's NCAA hoops. You'll see either Rick Pitino and Louisville against Kentucky or UCLA against Michigan next Saturday here on CBS.
Well, the Rams are well within Jeff Wilkins' range as far as kicking field goals. Give him that 38th and put him in that undisputed 2nd position all time for kicks in a single season. Good kicks in a season.
He leads the league in scoring, as we've said. He's had some game-winning kicks this year, actually. It is 2nd down and 6. 29-yard line. Falk in the backfield. Extra defensive backs in there for Cincinnati, and Bulger throws, and it's caught by Holt. Great catch. Pulled down by Case Vahan. 15-yard line's got the first down. Well, they've taken him inside a lot. You said before he's a little weary about going there, but boy, he does a good job once he does get his hands on the ball.
Runs inside, and yards after the catch used to be the signature here, and it's one of the strong points of Isaac Holt's or Torrey Holt's game is running after he catches it.
Holt, 9 catches, 119 yards, and a receiving yard career high. What a play. What a season. St. Louis 20-10 at the end of 3. We'll return to St. Louis after this message and a word from your local station. We start the 4th quarter with the Rams on the move. They got it 1st and 10, Cincinnati 14-yard line. Marshall Falk the fake, and Bulger, who is hit by Williams, throws incomplete to Holt, who is covered by Torrey James inside the 5.
Torrey James, remember he was beaten pretty badly earlier. Torrey James, a good sign of a veteran, comes back in perfect position, ball thrown a little bit high, and Holt just can't get at it.
St. Louis today, 2 Wilkins field goals, a Falk touchdown run of a yard, Holt a touchdown reception. Bulger has thrown a pick. Cincinnati's got a touchdown pass from John Kitna, but he's thrown a couple picks. 2nd down and 10 from the 14 of Cincinnati. Bulger looking one way and wanting to go the other. Here he goes inside to Holt, and fumble on the play. It was knocked loose by John Thornton as Holt corkscrewed away, and they recover it. The Rams do inside the 10. It was not a change of possession, so now it will be 3rd down and about 5, I believe. Let's see where they spot that ball. This was some kind of game featuring the 2 top receivers in each conference.
See Thornton, the defensive tackle, in there backing up in his zone defense, actually gets the ball out of there. With that pile, the way it was configured, I don't know how a Bengal didn't get it.
Boy. Roman looked like
Mark Roman had it. And Holt must have stole it from him in the dog pile.
5 in the secondary. A couple linebackers. 3rd and 5. From the 10. Bulger. Here comes Tony Williams again. There's the pass. It's caught for a touchdown, and that is Marshall Falk's 2nd touchdown today.
Think about the St. Louis Rams and Marshall Falk being a guy that can catch passes like crazy, run with the ball like nuts, finally gets himself a receiving touchdown. Bulger, nice read, and that's how you separate from a linebacker. Bad tackling by Simmons. first in 21 games, though, for Marshall Faulk.
The first of the season, and he puts the Rams up as Wilkins knocks it through. By the way, Faulk is one touchdown away from tying Chris Carter for number 4 in the NFL all-time list. There is a flag down.
Running into the kicker by the receiving team, number 27. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Difference being running in is not malicious. That's 5 yards. Roughing the kicker would be 15.
Marshall Faulk, 2 touchdowns today, and the Rams are moving on top. Big day for Marshall Faulk, who has 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground and 1 through the air. And the ensuing kickoff, Brandon Bennett will leave it in the end zone. Three touchbacks so far for Wilkins today. Coming up in the Subway postgame show, join Jim, Dan, Deanna, and Boomer for all of today's scores and highlights, plus the complete NFL playoff picture. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show from New York. Touchback to the 21st and 10. Rudy Johnson drilled. Grant Wistrom. What a game he's had. 2 sacks and a big tackle there as we go to New York and Jim Nance.
Guys, check it out. Listen to these numbers as the Ravens now break it open with Jamal Lewis scoring again, his 4th touchdown of the season against the Browns. He has 205 yards on the day. Over 200 for the 2nd time this year against the Browns. Back to you.
And Jimmy needed 253 to become the 5th player in NFL history to reach 2,000. He is on his way. Great report, and thank you. 2nd and 10. Rudy Johnson. There's a block by Chad Johnson, no relation, tackled by Jason Sehorn. 36-yard line, 16-yard run. What? Last week, the Bengals back Johnson rushed 21 times, 174 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Bengal win over San Francisco.
And on that same signature play, 24 power.
First down. Pretty important drive here for Cincinnati.
They can answer here. They can hang in this thing.
36-yard line. Good time for Kittner, who just dumps it off to Johnson, who is in turn hit by Tommy Polley. The flag is down.
It's going to be on Leonard Little for hitting Kittner with his head. Contract to the head.
Well, he tried to tear off his foot, and that was unsuccessful, so he thought he'd move up the ladder and go for his head.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 91, hit him with the head. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Leonard Little made his first Pro Bowl announced the other day, and 91 is Little coming in, and
boy.
Looked like he hit him with his shoulder and his right arm, not his head.
I totally agree. It was just a late hit, but right, it was with the shoulder pad. 1st and 10. 47-yard line of the Rams.
Little quick movement by Levi Jones. He's having a hard time handling Grant Wistrom.
Full start offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Wistrom has been in on 3 sacks, 2 of which he's authored by himself, solo.
As good as this defense for St. Louis has played on occasion, taking advantage of the Rams, I think the difference maker today has been Mark Bulger. 3rd down today, Bulger's 8 of 10. 6 of those 8 completions are for first downs, keeping those drives going and giving Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt the chance to take advantage of the Cincinnati defense.
4-3-4 Ram defense. 1st and 15. 48-yard line of Cincinnati. They dump it outside. Caught by Kelly Washington on the fly and hit by Butler and grabbed by Art Chiletta. 12-yard gain, a very quick one it was, to the Ram 39.
So one thing the Ram defense does not want to do is relax. It's only a 17-point lead they're looking at, and you've got a lot of time left in this game. You've got 12 minutes left. Just keep it going.
40 straight losses for this Cincinnati team on the road against a winning ball club. 2nd and 3. Rudy Johnson. And a lead block from Rayberg, who's taken the place of the injured rookie Eric Steinbach at that left guard. A gain of 4 to the 35. Jim, what do you have in New York for us?
Okay, we've got a little update coming your way from Houston. The Texans have answered back. David Carr finding time here. And right on the line of scrimmage, gets it away. Corey Bradford hauls it in to tie it up. Well, it's back to you.
Hey, Jim, that's the first offensive touchdown for the Texans in 3 weeks. Pretty big play in a big game. First down and 10 from the Ram 35. Kittner, 5th-rated quarterback in the NFL. Lobs it long and incomplete. They had coverage on their tight end, Stewart. Second down. Bryce Fisher was down there with them. Monday, Dave's All New with Steve Martin. And Tuesday, don't miss Renee Zellweger. She's in that new movie, by the way, Cold Mountain. Plus, can Jay Thomas knock the meatball off the Late Show tree? The tradition in continuing right here on CBS, the Late Show with Dave.
You've been reading the living section too much.
Second down and 10 from the 35. Jeremy Johnson, that's the lumbering fullback with only his 14th carry of the year. Grinds out about 6 yards into the teeth of that defense and works it to the 29-yard line. Well, we saw him with the touchdown catch against Kansas City about a month ago that was simply spectacular. He's 273 pounds.
Yeah, he moved like a man of a mere 250.
Third down and 4.
You got to think Chad Johnson's the man they're looking for.
6 defensive backs. It's Brandon Bennett, grabbed by Cody and brought down inside the 25, but not after he acquires a first down. Gain of 6 to the 23.
I like this. This is a no baloney approach by Marvin Lewis. You know, we're down by 17. Do we panic? No. We stay in our offense and we do what we do well, and that's pound the ball and take the pass plays that are there. And John Kitna, on the last occasion he was throwing the ball, threw the ball smartly away to keep the drive alive.
Kitna today is 15 of 26, touchdown and 2 picks. Over 4 minutes on the drive. 9th play coming up. First and 10, St. Louis 23. Rudy Johnson offers a great block and a quick strike down the middle, and it's caught by the tight end. That's Stewart inside the 5, 21-yard reception. First reception today.
Yeah, Tony Stewart just right up in the seam. John Kitney's his 3rd read. You saw him kind of check, bang. Gets it to his tight end up the seam, being covered by Adam Archuleta and delivered perfectly by John Kitna.
We got Johnson in there and Johnson. Rudy and Jeremy in the eye. Walter is a receiver. And first and goal handoff. Rudy Johnson grabbed by Jamie Duncan from behind. No gain. Second down and goal. To Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, Kevin, and here we go. Ravens and the Browns, and Tim Couch. Just no chance here today. Just having a miserable afternoon as Chad Williams picks him off. We got another run back for a touchdown. It's 28-0. Baltimore on its way to victory. Let's go back to you.
Jimmy talked about Jamal Lewis getting yards on the ground before. Browns are now 0-7 this season when allowing a rusher 100 yards or more. Second and goal at the 2. Washington on the move. The Johnsons in the backfield. And to the end zone for Stewart. Incomplete. The coverage on the play by Jamie Duncan. Third and goal.
Well, Jamie Duncan had one of Tony Stewart's arms. He about yanked him down to the ground from behind. Watch as the ball arrives.
Cincinnati.
That was pretty good. Kitna's not happy. Well, the tug was early. The tug was before the ball got there.
Four in the secondary. Make it 5 in the secondary now. Third and goal at the 2. To the end zone, Kitna. And intercepted by Butler. Jeremetrius Butler will take it out and then is devoured by Mike Goff at about the 4 or 5 yard line. That is the 3rd Kitna interception today.
Coming into this game, John Kitna on wins had 20 touchdowns and 1 interception. In their games they've lost, he's had 5 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That's his third of the day, like you said.
Butler's first interception in a month. The gateway to the west, that's the Arch here in St. Louis on a picture-perfect afternoon. No quarterback over the last 4 years in the NFL has thrown more red zone interceptions than John Kitna. The interception takes it to the 8. Butler grabbed it. Here's the ensuing first play on first down on a gain of a yard. Not much there. And Marshall Faulk held.
You talk about Kidna and his numbers. I mentioned going to commercial there. This St. Louis defense, let's talk a little bit about them. They have 6 turnovers, 6 interceptions in the red zone. That also leads the NFL. Third down, though, this ball's got to be thrown where only your guy can get it. So you can go for it on fourth down. That was 2 down territory. You weren't going to kick a field goal there. You were going to throw 2 passes, and that first pass on third down of the 2 plays has to be where no one else can get it but your receiver, Washington.
4-3-4 Cincinnati defense. Faulk in the backfield. Second down, long 9. At the 8, Looker on the move. Bulger falls, but he did get the handoff to Faulk. He was grabbed by Hardy. By the way, it's a gain of 5. They cannot make the playoffs as a wild card. Cincinnati can't. So that's why this division title is that's it. That's the ticket.
And you saw already seen numerous occasions how well Baltimore's doing. You saw Bulger fall down there. You know, Bulger has something a little different about how he sets up at quarterback. He sets up with his right foot way inside, almost underneath the center. It was one of the reasons he fell down there is his foot got stepped on. And when you have your foot that far underneath the center, you're going to risk the chance that either the center or the guard's going to step on your foot getting out of there.
Good third down passing numbers for Bulger. Third down and 5. 13-yard line. They got Faulk back there. Here comes Hardy on the blitz, and it's Marshall Faulk. And he was hit and grabbed by Simmons, who slowed him down and finished off on the play by Carl Pollard. And he got the first down, lunging to the 20-yard line or thereabouts, and it's a first down, gain of 6 on 3rd and 5.
Marshall Faulk has the ability to add 20 pounds as soon as he gets the ball. He just is able to blow up at times and turn into a power back. There's no other explanation week in and week out, besides the fact that we have such horrible tackling in the NFL. Week in and week out, why is it's always him being tackled horribly? It's because he's so powerful.
Faulk thought the ball should be spotted more near the 19 or 20, but he's just at the 19-yard line where it's first down and 10. Ball is past the 18. Cleveland on the move. With Faulk in the backfield, Cleveland with the lead block and a big hole for Marshall Faulk. Brought down by Rogers Beckett near the 35. A rumble of 17 yards as Marshall Faulk continues to rack up yards. 20 carries, 98 yards today.
And it's that offensive line up front. McCollum, Wolabaugh, Timmerman in the middle. The lead block by Joey Goodspeed. I mean, we talked about Jim Hanifin earlier. What a nice job he's done of coaching this offensive line. And Cleveland, the tight end, also had a good block on there. We'll make him an honorary tackle.
He's as big as a tackle, isn't he? Beckett is gingerly off the field, holding on to his leg. 34-yard line, back of the ball, hitting the 34, 1st and 10. It's Lamar Gordon with the good speed block, or the attempted block, and Hardy fought through it and drives him out of bounds. And a loss on the play of about a yard. So it's 2nd down and 11. Well, we know St. Louis has won the West. They're 11-3 with Philly. And they've got to continue to win if they want to have even more than just home field, which is all they've got right now.
There's Jim Hanifin. He would love to have everything come through St. Louis, I'm sure. And make no mistake, I mean, this is a young, resilient football team being coached. The offensive line is by Jim Hanifin here in St. Louis. So going on the road doesn't scare them. But I think coming in here for everybody in the playoffs would absolutely petrify teams in the NFC.
34-yard line. It is 2nd down and 11. They've already run off the clock about 3.5 minutes. And Faulk again. Terrell Roberts in the secondary among many Bengals there. Here's what St. Louis, though, is playing for today. We know they've won the West, as we just said. But with the win, they'll earn a first-round bye. So they got home field right now. A win gives them first-round bye. And then after that, they go into next year, and next week, rather, and try to even make that a better situation in the playoffs.
With the 13 straight home wins, This is a sort of a new part of the formula. You saw it last week against Seattle, and you're seeing it again. You get late in the game against a team like Cincinnati, and their wide receiver, Chad Johnson, there sitting on the sideline. Mike Martz sort of opens a different part of his playbook. He goes prehistoric. He goes into the wishbone. He just runs the ball and lets his offensive line take over the game.
3rd and 4, 39 outside they go, and it's caught by Furry, who cuts against the green and meets Hardy at about the 47-yard line and picks up a first down. Gain of 7 on the play. St. Louis with a date in Detroit after Christmas. Falk, by the way, is over 100 yards, 21 carries, 104 yards. His 38th career 100-yard game, the 25th as a St. Louis Ram. Philadelphia, who won on Monday night at Miami, and what was a big win for them today against San Francisco, and next week Saturday at Washington. 8th play of the drive. This is Marshall Falk again, adding to a great day. Case Vahan has him, but Falk has the ball and Case Vahan and drags them both down to the Cincinnati 36, a 16-yard gain, as Marshall Falk continues to rack up great yards and play outstanding football when needed most.
Your receiver runs them off, the action goes this way, and you just pitch it naked to Marshall Falk. You just say, hey, look, if the end's there, beat him. Otherwise, you're going to get a block from your receiver, and you got nothing but air to run in. And when they start grabbing him, I told you about that 20 pounds he puts on. Suddenly, people are just grabbing on and going for a ride.
Lamar Gordon is in. 2 touchdowns today by Falk on the ground and through the air. First down, Cincinnati 37-yard line. And Lamar Gordon grabbed from behind and hit by Glenn Steele. Gain of a couple. That may take us to the 2-minute warning of the game.
Well, that's the whole idea. It's the whole idea, Kevin, of this offense that Marvin Lewis is watching.
I think they just asked him, want to call timeout? You just saw him say no.
Mike Martz just runs the ball and takes the air and the time out of a football team.
St. Louis trying to stay undefeated in the regular season at home. They're well on their way to their 8th win of the year here in St. Louis. A touchdown pass from Bulger to Holt. 2nd down 8 with the 2-minute warning. Kitten has thrown 3 interceptions, and someone moved on that side. And that
false start offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It was Pace, but he was on the right side. That was weird.
They're moving him around.
They are, yeah. He's normally a left tackle, but they had him on the right tackle position.
I was really staring at Mark Bulger's feet again. I mean, it's so unusual. I haven't seen this since Bernie Kosar. It's just a little something, but if you watch him set up behind the center, you always see the quarterback set up with both feet just straddled evenly. Watch how far he shoves that right foot inside. Left foot is back. It's really unusual.
2nd and 13, 40-yard line. Handoff to Mano Malina, who follows a block by Turley and then rumbles down to the 31-yard line. And for him, his 4th carry of the season, the 3rd-year player out of Arizona, gain of 8. And looking good doing it, too.
They talk about here in St. Louis, they say what a great athlete Mano Malina is. I played college football with his dad. His father tried out for the UCLA basketball team, and he was a middle linebacker.
Wow, what an athlete.
He had some ups.
A lot of ups. Timeout. Bengals, as their counterpart, Baltimore, is winning in Cleveland. They're losing in St. Louis. That's going to put a lot of stress on Kitna and this team next week when they host the Browns. 3rd down 5. We are at 1:42 to play in the game. Lamar Gordon. And he bounces and drives and is down to the 20-yard line, hit by Case Vahan on a good-looking run of 11 yards. Marshall Falk today 2 touchdowns, 1 catching, 1 running, 150, make it 121 yards rushing on the day.
Well, Cincinnati did control their fate coming in here, but now they're going to need a little bit of help.
Well, Tennessee, with Cincinnati losing, Tennessee will automatically, regardless of what happens to them in Houston today, will be in the playoffs. They will clinch a playoff slot today. St. Louis, we knew they won the division. We knew they had home field. Now they've got the division, home field, and a first-round bye with this win. And a 1st and 10 at the Bengal 20. Gordon with the good speed block and a hit by Adrian Ross and no gain on the play. So we'll be back after this. Got hit below the belt, and he is on his way to the locker room. Second down and 11.
And above the knees.
And above the knees. So you can take a wild guess where. Second down and 11 at the 21-yard line. 46 seconds. They're going to sit on the ball. So the Rams, by this win today, have earned a first-round bye and a home field game the week after. But in their matchup with Philly earlier this year, they did not win. Philly kind of controls the whole table in the NFC.
Philly plays San Francisco today. They control who plays all the games at home in the playoffs.
Marshall Faulk, 2 touchdowns, 121 rushing yards. Kitna, 3 interceptions. And the Bengals will have to win next week. But Baltimore, by virtue of their win in Cleveland today, put Cincinnati in a very, very tenuous position. Rams ran the final 8.5 minutes off the clock. They seal it with a win. For Randy Cross and Leslie Visser, Kevin Harlan saying so long from St. Louis, where the Rams have won 27-10. Subway postgame is next. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Let's go to Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you, Kevin and Randy. So the Rams get a first-round bye, and with the Bengals losing, Tennessee has qualified for the playoffs. Let's update you now.